another episode of Talk Your Exposure, episode 6, with the homies, the compadres. I'm taking this from Ryan myself. I got Alan, Ryan, and Dexter, the hosts of Below the Hardwood. What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing today?
Hey,
we are good. We're in the building, our own buildings.
Yes. Not in the basement.
Quarantine edition, COVID edition.
Yeah,
COVID edition. Don't you guys feel like it's kind of weird doing podcasts over computers these days, or are you guys getting used to it?
I'm getting used to it. Yeah. I am getting used to it. Like, it sucks just not being in front and having the body language and seeing expressions like just like live in front of your face. But when did we kind of start this back up again? Like March? No, we didn't start in March, like April, May. So we've been doing it for like a good 7-8 months now. So I'm getting used to it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, to Ryan's thing. Yeah, kind of getting used to it. I kind of enjoy the idea of just kind of going into your own kind of setup and starting a recording, and it's easier. It's easier this way, the way to catch the audio, than as opposed to trying to run a MIDI system and all that crazy stuff, But yeah.
The good thing is everyone's accessible, right? So like if we have to do a podcast with someone, I don't know, overseas or something, we could get them in, and it doesn't look like anything's changed. So I kind of like it. And I get to stay home and
that's true.
Yeah, be naked.
Oh my God, yeah. Just like get up like 5 minutes. It's like we're meeting at 8:30.
Like, I'm not even wearing pants right now.
Yeah. Oh my God. I for the first like 4 or 5 months, I was recording the podcast in my bed, and they'd always comment too. And I'd just be like, listen, like if I'm doing this at home and no one's around, I'm just gonna be in my jams in my bed.
Winnie the Poohing right now.
Yeah. My best podcasts were recorded in my bed.
So are you guys would prefer this setup under the basement setup?
It's a different beast. I feel like when we were doing the basement stuff, it was a live kind of thing, and so there's kind of energies and things. There's no moments for dead air when we did that before, so you needed that type of energy. And I think the podcast kind of has a different, more laid back feel that suits being at home and Winnie the Poohing or Daffy Ducking it. So it's nice. It's nice, yo.
Nice breeze.
Yeah. I got a vent right underneath me. Ooh, got the undercarriage, getting the nice little air polish.
Yeah. You only see the setup here, but you don't see below.
Fair enough.
Below the hardwood.
Plug.
That's kind of a bar. I'm not gonna lie. That's kind of a bar. Is there anybody that we can expect, big time, going to come on your show anytime soon? I know you guys are already pretty big time as it is, but is there anybody big time? First of all, how do you guys get on my show before I get on your show? That's a bigger question.
Oh yeah. That's rough.
Our invitation's in the mail, man.
Yo, Boston Celtics franchise fantasy draft. We got you.
We had to put the franchise drafts on hold for a bit, but they'll come back. They'll come back.
I hear you.
Well, if we want to hear some bad takes on LeBron James, we'll have you on, man.
Anytime. Yeah. Steven's got some. Me and Steven have had some conversations over COVID and quarantine, and like everyone knows I'm not the biggest LeBron James fan, but some of that stuff I can't sign off on, man. You're wild, man. You are wild.
Steven, give us a take, yo. Give
us your hottest take. Your hottest take.
Listen, I'm gonna say this. I've already said this on one of my podcasts already. I'm gonna say this one more time. I'm a LeBron hater, an ultimate LeBron hater.
Give him your Phil Handy.
What I will say.
That's a 24/7 job.
Pardon?
That's a 24/7 job. You're giving you a lot to hate on, bro.
Job. What do you mean?
Yeah, that's hard, bro. Fun shit to work. You gotta taxes to pay. Shit, bro.
What I will say, I'll openly say, is he impressed me this year. This year he actually impressed me.
This year, out of all 17.
Before that, when he was on Miami, when he was on Cleveland, it hasn't really impressed me. But to be honest, this year I'm actually impressed. I'm happy with.
No, Steven, stick to your guns.
Why I'm happy is because of the fact that it wasn't really him doing it. It was Kobe. So shout out to Kobe for winning his fourth year.
Here it is.
And tell him about Phil Handy.
But that's why. Because you got to think about it. Like every year that everyone's won the championship, there's been something that's happened within families. Nick Nurse, his mom passed away. Kawhi Leonard hit the bounce. You know what I'm saying? Kobe Bryant passed away. What happened? They beat Houston. They beat Denver. Then on top of that, they won in Orlando. It's literally Kobe in 09. So we're about to see another two-peat again go this year because of Kobe passed away. So he's about to be Boston this year. And I don't want to hear about it, but I'm calling it right now. LeBron James is winning this year's championship.
This isn't Steven, this isn't hating. You need to hate.
This is not hating, but I have to.
This is what the hate is. Ready?
This is what happens when there's too much greatness. You go,
this is the
what
hate.
do I hate on?
This is the hate. LeBron won 2 in shortened seasons. He's only and this year he's gonna win another in a shortened season. Oh, and it's all because of AD.
LeBron
you got to stick with your hate, Steve.
Year 17.
Listen,
ain't no way to stop. You can't stop him.
Like
Anthony Davis.
Even Father Time can't stop him. Have you noticed this? Even Father Time. Father Time's going getting Gatorade on the bench. He's too tired.
I like the take where he's only been good for 1 of the 17 years. I like that. Keep rolling with that.
Is this gonna be
one good year? One good year.
This is gonna be me in like 5 years with Kevin Durant when he like finally wins a chip on a team that I don't hate, and I'm like, all right,
the Nets are winning this year.
No, they're not.
Hey, listen,
yes, they are.
We're gonna get into that in a little bit, but I just wanted to know I just wanted to talk about what you guys are expecting for you guys this year. You know, now with 2020 coming to an end, what can we look forward to for you guys in particular, personally, as well as also branding wise for 2021? Starting with Dexter.
Well, personally, I'm trying to have a baby, Doc. I don't know.
Oh, that's breaking news.
Big news.
Wait,
but
we have
below the
news?
hardwood, I'm trying. We're trying to do big things with below the hardwood. We're trying to expand, man. Like, I want to get into wrestling with Ryan. I want to get into
let's go.
Like actual wrestling, not podcast. No, I'm kidding. Wrestling. We want to do some football. You know what? I'm ready to do the Bachelorette and Bachelor podcast. Whoever's down, whoever's out there, let me know. At me. We ready?
Dex on Bachelor.
Wow. Ryan.
Just at the end of the day, like Below the Hardwood was originally a YouTube, a video show, and obviously that was halted with COVID. The podcast started back up this year. With my original hope was we would be back in front of a camera again at some point. I still think that's possible. Obviously, we're heading into winter's coming or it's already here, but hopefully you'll see us in front of a camera at some point this season. And then going forward, evolution of podcast, it's just, I feel the podcast was kind of just a way to come back, because we haven't done this in like 4 years. So this is the first time the podcast has actually come back. And I'm just hoping that, you see us on screens, talking hoops, talking to guests. I don't want to reveal too much because, you can't give all the tricks out in the bag, but, we have some guests lined up. We're going to be talking to some faces. We're going to be having good conversations. So I feel like the future is, it's looking up. It's looking up.
That's what's up. And personal goals?
Personal goals. Well, let's see.
Big Brother.
Oh yeah,
you're right on Big Brother.
There's apparently a campaign to get me on Big Brother. It's already too late because the applications already went out for next summer. But apparently, I'm going to be on Big Brother. Yeah.
Listen,
actually, no.
If you need any advice, hit up Anthony Douglas. I know you know Anthony Douglas.
I do.
A Poutine Poppy shout out on the pod.
Although I do this show and you can kind of consider me like a public person, I'm not ready for 24-hour surveillance. I can't do that. I'll be talking to myself. People will be thinking I'm crazy and shit. Need to, get a little bit into better shape before, I get in front of the cameras. But no, just personal goals, this podcast is like it's a reliever. It helps me express myself, and I just want to, continue to do that and grow this thing and make this thing something, and just really kind of, and I love disseminating, I love sharing, and I love like having conversations with people. So I just want to continue to grow this thing and get this somewhere where, you know, I just didn't think it'd be possible.
Fair enough. Anything's possible. Sorry.
Yeah, you gotta cut
Just
that clip
that
in there. You gotta
Yeah,
cut that clip in there.
I can send it to you. If you
I got to figure out how to do that, but I got you guys. Alan?
Ryan won't say who the guests are, but I will. Radio host Roz and Mocha are gonna be on the show. We also got Meghan Markle, 2/3 of the Animaniacs. It's gonna be lit, fam.
Beyonce.
Yeah, no. We have some cool guests lined up in the pipeline, so I'm excited about that. And to kind of say the same thing as Dexter, I kind of want to see press on the web kind of expand to become like the Canadian Ringer, you know, or the Ringer North, and be able to touch subjects ranging from sports to entertainment to anything that you want to talk about, anything you want to watch. I would love to see if there was a podcast or an article or some form of media that can you can watch and just take in, because I think right now we're all looking for content. So if we had an ability to create the content and kind of control it and make sure it's all fun, even gaming, if we can get into gaming somehow too, because we got like fantasy sports stuff that we're trying to get into. If we could dip our toes in everything and just be a conglomerate, that's what we're kind of looking towards.
Ooh,
so want to grow on that.
Media conglomerate.
It's a big word. I got
No suits. No suits. If you're a
Spell
suit,
that, Alan. Spell that.
Conglomerate. See, conglomerate.
What has 2020 taught you guys? Starting with Ryan.
2020. Oh, that's good. That's hard, man. It is hard. You know what? It's taught me that you can't stay still. You can't just sit on your ass and do nothing. Sorry if I said ass. You can't just, let things happen hoping that 2021 is going to be different, because realistically, what's going to make 2021 different? You know what I mean? Like, unless you become the change, unless you try to proactively put yourself in better positions. And we get it. It's hard. We get that you might not be able to go outside sometimes. We get that you're restricted in terms of what you're doing. Your businesses might be shut down, but you just can't like sit and just let it happen. A part of the lesson I learned early was I wanted to do the podcast again, right? Like, we weren't doing this in January. We weren't doing this in February. It was just like, a couple of conversations like, yo, let's just get this going again, right? And I've learned some new skills. Like, I did not have like video editing. I did not have audio. Well, I went to school for broadcasting, so the audio editing was always there, but I kind of bought programs. I taught myself new skills. My social game's getting a little bit better on the pages. So, you know what? If you're at home, you're listening to this, you're struggling, like, find something. You know what I mean? Just get up, do it. I started jogging and walking for like the first time in my life. I never went outside to jog and walk. I hated it. I just went to the gym. It did whatever. But at one point, before it obviously got cold, I was doing like 4 or 5 times a week, getting myself into better shape. So I think you just gotta keep with it. Don't just stand still waiting for 2021 to do things that are better. Do things that are better for you now, so that way 2021 can be, good.
For sure. Alan?
To quote or paraphrase the great Marshawn Lynch, take care of your mentals, take care of your chicken. So that's what I've been kind of doing. Same thing as Ryan, just kind of making sure that the brain space is at peace, making sure all that is in order, and making sure that's a priority, and putting that to the forefront in the front burners, and making sure that you control what you can control and how you can control to what other people do and whatnot in the world is. And once that kind of comes in line, then you can take care of your businesses, your job, your whatnot. So making sure that you're in the right mental health space, and doing whatever you can to do that. And then once that happens, you can take care of your money. You can do all that other stuff.
For sure.
Or have the opportunity to.
For sure. Dexter?
Just don't take anything for granted. I feel like I have good people around me. I've got great friends like you guys. I got a great family. Money's tight everywhere, but you also got to go with the motions. You got to roll with the punches. You just got to adapt. You have to learn that by going through the motion type thing. But it's been hard on everyone, and just want to see everyone safe. As long as everyone's healthy, and my family and my friends, you know what, I'm happy as well, man.
I want to
And
touch up.
sorry, Stephen. I also learned that there's some stupid people out there, man. Like very stupid people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wear your mask,
Just
Oh Jesus.
they're just putting people's lives in danger, and like, come on, just think, man. Take a step back, think. Unless I feel like people, unless something happens to them or something happens to their family, they don't really take anything in. But they just need to take a step back and like think of other people.
To all the viewers watching, please wear your mask, wash your hands, stay 6 feet away from somebody. Don't be crowded right up to somebody like you're thinking, about to bump and grind on somebody. There you go. Do exactly what Alan's doing right there on the left part of your screen.
You know how much I'm missing Sneaky D's, yo?
I would test the vaccine on myself tonight. Give me the one from 4 months ago. I don't even care. I'll take the 45% effective one.
I'll risk it.
I'll take 3 of them. It'll be more than 100%.
I want to touch up on something that Alan just spoke about, not too long ago. Mental health as not just a regular person like before it was, but as an athlete in general. DeMar DeRozan, Kevin Love, Paul George, Marshawn Lynch, like you just mentioned, they've spoken about mental health and itself, about how everything is kind of, they don't feel like they're always there, where people are asking them for money, or people are asking them for handouts, or people are asking them for whatever case might be. Talk to us a little bit just about, for you guys in particular, just about like at a personal level, the mental health for 2020 or for COVID, and on top of that, like as an athlete, if you guys were to be a professional athlete or the low professional athlete, can we sympathize with those people, starting with Alan?
I definitely think we can. We definitely can and should sympathize with those people when they're going through something. It doesn't, I think one thing that a lot of fans kind of forget is that it's not a mirror. It's like a two-way mirror in a certain sense. Like when you go on these posts or comments on these players, social medias and saying you suck or this and that, it's like they can see that. They can see that, right? Like it's linked straight to you. It's kind of silly that we kind of forget that. I don't know, but as many shots as I've taken, I've always tried to be the like, as long as it feels like it's valid criticism, I feel like that's okay. But at the end of the day, just like the dog piling and the weird kind of, I don't know, gratification of lifting somebody up and then tearing them down. I think we should all take a step back and like realize that maybe that's not the case. And I think, and I hope that a time like a pandemic has made us realize that we're all in this together, and we can kind of come back maybe kinder and gentler and make sure that we reach people with olive branches and less with sticks,
For sure. And Dexter?
Well, man, nothing was the same since Kobe died, man. And I swear, like everything, like to hop on what Alan said, like dogpiling, like it feels like 2020 is just dogpiling us, and you have to be mentally strong, man. And I think it really starts with the people around you. I think those people are the ones that are going to help you through this time. And I feel like I'm in a good place, actually, like a great place, because of everyone around me and all the support and like how we encourage each other just to keep going. And tomorrow's a new day and next year is a new year, you know what I mean? And everyone's trying to look at the positive side of everything. And I feel like with those people around you supporting you, being positive, there's only but up.
And Ryan?
You're gonna get knocked down repeatedly, you know what I mean? You just can't just like sit and take it. You just gotta keep going with it. And you know what? If you're not down, like you're not dead, right? You're here, you're alive. Keep going, keep moving. Make sure your family's safe, make sure you're good. It sucks because it's like I just get like thoughts of just like I had family friends that were affected by COVID, so it sucks, but you just gotta keep going with it, you know what I mean? And just make sure to keep up on your family, and just like Dex said, don't take things for granted. So
I think 2020 for me this year has been crazy in every aspect, whether it's COVID, whether it's sports, whether it's mental health, whether it's social injustice, whether it's, I just feel like there's just so many things that we could talk about in a negative aspect. The one thing for me that really triggered me is the social injustice part of 2020. We start off with George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and there's many others, other black males that have been in a situation that keep coming out all the time. How do you think the world has perceived that, as well as also, mentally towards athletes who are black, towards managers who are black, towards, not owners, but managers, coaches, players, not just basketball, but any black athlete in general, or anybody that's not white. How do you guys feel like that has been taking on, how do you think the world has been taking this? Or do you think it's been taken well? Sorry, Ryan.
Everyone's gonna have a different view. Everyone's gonna have a different opinion. Obviously, like, I'm black, right? So I'm gonna see one way, you can say. I feel like everyone needs to put yourself in other people's shoes. You know what I mean? Like, you have to kind of see the indifference, see why someone's talking like this, look into them, see, I realize, like, looking at my friends and having some conversations with people, that it's not that they want to disagree with you or say that, you're wrong about this, cops are great, this is not racism, this is whatever. It's what they were kind of born into, right? Like, their surroundings, their people around them, their environments. I realized a lot of my friends, they might not have ever had like a real black person in their life for it to, like, they were well into adulthood. So, they don't have like access to color, people of color. They don't have access to people that can talk to them about things. And I think that was the biggest realization for me, because it was just like, I'd sit down, I'd have conversations with myself, conversations with other people, and I'm like, why can't you just see that this is wrong? Like, I just didn't understand it. And then I'm like thinking about it. It's like, yeah, you know what? This guy literally did not have like one piece of representation of color in his life. So it's like, that's all he knows. Like, that's all this person knows. And you can't blame people for that. You can't, say like, okay, that's your fault. Like, at the end of the day, it's not. The parents who raised you, they didn't, kind of like show you that, hey, like, this is around. You're not going to know. So I think everyone just needs to take a step back, before you get into these conversations. Look at each other first and realize, look at the backgrounds, look at who you're talking to, and before you place judgment and you kind of just like pick a side. Just like look at that other person and see, are they educated, are they cultured, do they know? And then take that attempt, to have that conversation, take that attempt to enlighten them. And then at that point, if the people, you can't come to an agreement, I don't think it has to go violent. I don't think it has to go like horrible. Like, as long as the conversations are being had and people are trying to be understanding of each other, then I think you can live and be peaceful. Because I know for a fact I have friends that I just don't agree with, and we're still friends, right? Like, I can still be friends with someone who has like a completely different side or like a view on this, but it's because we're both like understanding of each other's opinions. So I think you just gotta have those conversations and just try to, it doesn't have to result in violence. It really doesn't, because I've seen these conversations result in some horrible things. And you know what? At the end of the day, if someone is being, I've cut people off. Don't worry, I have cut people off for the way they view, but not just because they view it that way, but because the way they approached it and the way they tried to come at me about it. So, it's take your time, be patient, be peaceful, and then at the end of the day, hopefully, I don't think you're ever going to stop things like this. This is always going to be around. It's just, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Dexter?
I'm kind of piggyback on what Ryan said. I believe we have to keep the conversation going just to keep the movement going. I feel like in the past, I don't know, few months, like, it's really slowed down, to be honest. It's like in the NBA, they stopped wearing those like how many more jerseys and stuff. Like, I think we should have kept that and kept the movement, kept the conversation going. And like Ryan said, I don't think it's going to slow down. I don't think it's ever going to stop. I think by continuing the conversation, we have to just keep it in the forefront until stuff changes. I feel like change has come from all of this, but it's not to where we want it.
Fair. And Alan?
Yeah, to kind of to agree with most points. I will say I believe in like 98% of what Ryan said. I think I'm a little bit more militant when it comes to certain things. I feel like people been had the opportunity for a very long time. And I think this kind of movement is a little different from most movements because it's like, well, you have the opportunities in front of you to learn. And if you continue to not learn, well, then that's on you. Because like I remember I grew up in I went to a Christian private school for most of my life. I had very kind of different views when it came to same-sex marriages and like homophobia and stuff like that. Like they taught you differently there. But I think I knew it was a little different. I knew something was up the entire time. And it didn't take, it took to the opportunity of actually talking to certain people in different communities to kind of get that kind of perspective. You kind of have to want to learn. Some people don't want to learn. So if you don't have the opportunities to learn about something else and you kind of like neglectfully kind of not do your duty, I don't think it's on the other person to kind of come out there and be like, hey, I can educate you. I don't think that's the right way we can do things, especially not in 2020. If you see someone in pain, they're in pain for a reason, and you should have the moral obligation to find out why they're in pain and kind of be on their side on that. So that's where I kind of differ on it. But everything else, like 100% agree. I think the conversation needs to keep going. I think we need to kind of push harder and stronger. I think we need to look at our elected officials and say, hey, we want these certain things from you. There's certain things that we need, not want. We like, and make sure that we vote right people into power. I don't think violence is the answer on most things like that. I don't think so. But like when it comes to people like the Proud Boys, punch them back. I don't give a like. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, they need to punch. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm sorry about those. Sorry to those few. But if you're trying to bring violence onto a group of people, I don't think I think there's lessons that we can learn from Malcolm and Martin at the same time and try to find some type of unity as far as everything come together. Because I truly believe that like we have so much more in common than we have in difference, but that doesn't mean that we don't look at our differences and also embrace some things of ourselves. We can also always do that. That's the thing that we can always do. But I think we should all come together peacefully and try to move forward and make it to a society that doesn't have prejudices and gatekeeping and different things that just kind of keep us separated on a lot of different levels, especially class too as well. I think class is another thing that a lot of times we forget, that it's like a huge like impediment of like success, or not success, of just like financial mobile like green. Like I think a lot of times like, these like, think about this, we're all in a pandemic and there's like, what's his name, Jeff Bezos and stuff like that out there getting trillions of dollars. We're trying to get legislation out there to like kind of like tax the rich people, get this poor people going, no, I don't think you should tax the rich people because maybe one day I'll be rich. It's like, you stupid. They told you to say that because they don't want you to do that. So you're not going to grow unless you like, kind of, I don't know, look at it a different way. Not to kind of like shift the conversation to something else, but like, I think 2020 was a very important kind of special thing because like these things have been happening. They've been happening for a very long time.
Yes.
Like I'm talking hundreds of years, this type of stuff has been happening. So nothing is new, and it's new to some people. And that's the first step in kind of changing things, because they're starting to realize that, oh, wait a minute, this happens to a certain group of people certain more times than everyone else. So it's like, it's awesome that they're finally on board. So now that they're on board, then we can kind of, I see it all as like this big giant thing that we all have to lift. So now we can kind of pass some stuff off to other people so we can all lift it together and kind of not burden each other out and tire ourselves out in this fight for equality.
For sure. And on my standpoint, I don't know, I mean, you guys do know what not a lot of people know. I'm Jewish, so obviously I know what's been going on towards Black people this year in particular. But I'm engaged to a Black woman, and if we have kids, we're gonna have a Jewish Black kid. And for many people that may or may not know what happened this past summer, for us as well, I'm not comparing what happened to Jewish people compared to Black people or anything like that, because everyone, it's a lot worse for Black people than what's going on with Jewish people, 100%. My only thing though was along the lines of when I heard something that kind of hit home for me with Deshaun Jackson. I'm a diehard Eagles fan. Shout out Ryan, but I'm a diehard Eagles fan. And when I kind of heard what he said about Jewish people, how he was quoting, I forgot the name.
Yeah, that garbage human or something like
Yeah.
No, yeah, him and what's his name? Nick
Hitler.
Cannon. Didn't they both kind of like
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway,
Which is like
that's for a whole nother day. But
no, but that's like the wildest thing to me that like anti-Semitism is a thing that like black people can even entertain because it's just like they
Right.
do that about you, right? Like it's the
Right.
weirdest thing for you to be like
Right.
doing the same thing that someone
Yeah, I
did to you.
never really understood that.
right.
Like
I think sorry, with the Nick Cannon situation, I think someone reached out to him and he reached out to someone to like get educated on that anti-Semitism type thing.
Yeah.
I think
I think it was a rabbi.
Yeah, he spoke
Yeah,
to
he did
Rabbi, I think it was Rabbi Shlomi or something, Rabbi Shlomi from New York. Very good. Sorry, and Deshaun Jackson was quoting Farrakhan. My bad, Farrakhan. So Farrakhan. Anyways, I'm not gonna get into all that,
Yeah.
but for me, it was more so along the lines of it hit home for me because I can only imagine what everyone is kind of going through and you know the pain and the tiredness that everyone's going through prior to George Floyd. And like to be able to see that tired me out, and then when the whole quotes kept coming out about anti-Semitism and Ice Cube and P. Diddy and Nick Cannon and Deshaun Jackson and this person and that person, they're all black people, and I'm like, what the fuck, you know? So for me, I think it was like you said, Alan. This 2020 has been a special year. It's been a special, great year because along the lines of it's been able to wake a lot of people up. And a lot of people have been able to come together, especially the people that need to come together, like you said as well, the higher front, you know, people that are being hired, the owners of sports teams, the leagues and stuff like that, that are finally putting their hands in their pocket and saying, you know, we're here now, you know, we're able to help. So that for me was a huge thing, and I'm kind of glad that 2020 happened, you know, the way it happened. So with that being said as well, are you guys happy with the way that the NBA, you know, did what they did with the Black Lives Matter on the court, allowing the players to wear their social justice jerseys, and also, you know, just really just, you know, walking off the court when need be, and same with the WNBA as well, starting with Dexter.
Oh, I definitely did like it. I think when they did protest, that's kind of where it hit me the most. Not saying the other stuff didn't, but like it affected me personally, I guess, just because the NBA did stop. I'm a huge NBA fan, and it just stopped. It gave me time to reflect and actually look what the injustices are, like just stuff to educate me. And they were just putting it on the forefront, and it's pretty much on TV. Everything you see, everything you look at, the NBA was right there, and I think they did an amazing job. I think the WNBA did it first and did it like really well, but the NBA, it hit home for me for sure. And I think they should just keep it going. Like I said, just keep the message going. I didn't see anything lately on TV in the preseason or anything, but I say keep that going.
Ryan?
So yeah, no, it's the fact that they were like the major league out of all four major sports to do it impressed me. And obviously it's like your league is like what, 90%, probably even more black. Like you got to, like, that would be absolutely crazy not to see something happen. And, you know, putting Black Lives Matter, big bold print right on the court, the last names of the jerseys being, you know, good messages of like equality and peace and whatever they chose. I thought Adam Silver has had a crazy time as commish of this league. Like, he's gone through a lot of things, and I thought he handled this extremely well. You know, he knew that this would rub people the wrong way, and it did. It rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. You have the absolutely insane boycotters. I'm not going to watch the NBA because they put Black Lives Matter on the court. Like, as if that changes anything for you. It doesn't. It just opens up dialogue. It opens up the conversations. You see little kids watching the game. Why do they have that? Why do they have those words on the court? Now you have to have that conversation. You know what I mean? To someone who never watched basketball and it's just casually on, it's like, why do they have this on the court? There's people that just don't know what's going on in the world. And that opened up alleyways for these conversations. So it was great. And I like that. You know, Adam Silver didn't stop. Like, he was threatened. People would be like, I'm not going to watch this. You guys are going to lose money. You have, you know, people just making up asinine comments just about the whole movement. And I like what they did. And although people were upset about the boycott, like that happened, mid bubble, again, like they saw more injustice happen. I feel like it was needed. I feel like people, we had conversations that, was this really needed? What did it accomplish? Guess what? I think it did accomplish a lot, because guess who's the new president?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that the NBA was the reason why we have a new president elect, but they changed. They used voting. They used NBA arenas for voting polls. Wasn't this the biggest turnout in voting history?
Yep.
Because like they literally changed who was going to be the president through getting people to vote, finding new ways to vote, mail-in ballots. Like this was insane. And I think the NBA sparked a lot of that. So I'm completely on board with it.
Alan?
Yeah, I'm completely on board with what the NBA did. More like, I think what the NBA did is great, but also the WNBA. I think we should also talk about them, because they went further. They went further than the NBA. They had the shirts with the bullet holes. They stood up to Kelly Loeffler, one of the owners of one of the teams, who was just this like right wing, Democratic, not or right wing, sorry, governor or something like that, and like thing. She's actually got a runoff election in Atlanta, so they've been like pushing real hard on her and trying to keep things that Black bodies do. If you enjoy the content that Black bodies create, if you enjoy the music that Black bodies construct, you should also care about their pains and their struggles and what they're going through. And I think we've kind of had a reckoning where it's like you're not allowed to have that cognitive dissonance of like, well, I like what Black people do, but I don't really like them. You can't do that anymore. And I think the NBA, the WNBA, really made that clear, that you have to be a part of everything. You have to love all of it. You can't just be picking and choosing what you want from Black people. You have to really educate yourself as far as what they go through and their struggles, because we forget a lot of these players, they all come from those situations where if a scout didn't come to their game, or if they didn't pick up that basketball, they'd have a very different life. So it's awesome that the NBA and the WNBA were able to spotlight these injustices, because any one of those players could have been that person. And I think that if we have these conversations and really have the focus on a lot of that stuff, it's positive. And yeah, to the people like Ted Cruz and people who are like, well, I'm going to boycott shut up. Who cares? Go watch baseball then. Go watch hockey. Who cares?
Yeah.
It's not for you then.
Exactly.
Simple. Line in the sand. I think 2020 is a very moment where we can step back and have reflection. If you don't want to do the work, then you know what? Maybe it's not for you. Simple as that.
I love it. Honestly, I those answers are perfect. That's exactly what I was thinking as well. And to be honest with you, like just to hear it, the four of us are friends anyway, so it means a lot more for me to hear from you guys. Not just because you guys are my friends, but just generally of Black human beings, or a Chinese man as well, or Filipino, Chinese, Filipino, Asian. My bad.
I'm done here.
He's actually Mexican. He's Mexican actually.
Dexter
Hawaiian.
is Filipino. He is Filipino, fellas. But no, I'll go to start though. Like I'm glad to hear about this stuff, because for me personally, like there's a lot of things that I learned this year in particular that I didn't know before. And to hear the stuff that directly came from my friends or family or kids that I coached, or my fiance, or whatever it was, it meant a lot to me. So I'm glad that we were able to hear that. I'm glad that the viewers can hear this as well. And for anybody that doesn't agree with this, fuck off and don't watch the channel.
Swear words.
We're trying to be polite, and the host is out here doing. I like that.
Hey, I gotta keep it strict. I want to transition now to the NBA and Canada basketball in general. Canada basketball, when we were younger, when we were in high school, the biggest Canadian name was Steve Nash. Then after that it was like Scott McCollum and like Samuel Dalembert,
Junior Cadogan, Michael Bongo, like you know what I'm saying. Yeah. In the past, now in NCAA, there's over 100 Canadian Division I athletes. In the NBA right now / G League, there's over 40, which is like I think a freaking I'm going to say a world record, because when the hell do we ever hear about Canadian NBA players to know where the sport came from, and to know where what we're known as, which is a hockey country. How does it make you guys feel knowing that we have some of the top talent right now in the NBA?
coming from Canada, starting with Alan?
It's great watching the relationship between basketball and Canada. Seeing it firsthand, it's been awesome. Just from the Raptors being a thing from like 95 to like Raptor ball. So like you're seeing these actual large companies like investing into communities and watching this shift from a bunch of kids who played hockey and soccer growing up going, wait a minute, I can dribble a basketball. And then that kind of starting it. And then seeing the NBA franchise become what it became and seeing stars like, even though Vince Carter isn't Canadian, but he still represented so much for so many Canadian athletes and to pick up a ball. And I'm really happy for these kids. Like I know a lot of people get like bitter when like the younger generation gets it better than you, but I'm like genuinely, sincerely happy for them that they have this type of system and support that they can actually become and attain their dreams. Because like back in my day, yeah, like you had a Hooptown GTA 25 point club. That was it. That was all you had, you know, like on an archive that nobody checked out. Like
this guy brought back a throwback. Oh my god, Hooptown GTA 25 point club. Oh my god,
right? Made it once.
I'm gonna post underneath here. Hooptown GTA top 25 club.
Like it's crazy to think, and like now there's like Dwight Powell's, there's whatever, like people from Thornhill out there, you know, out there in the league making splashes, making millions of dollars. I was so happy to see Andrew Wiggins get his cheddar going. So it's great, and it can only hopefully go forward. I really want to see us get like to a point where we can make our own self-sustained league that's like bigger than the CBL, but like not shitting on CBL, but like I would love to see our own kind of support system where we can hand out like large contracts to Canadian grown talent, and if they want to go to the NBA they can, but they, you know, there's also a place here for you if you want to live a life and just play basketball here, and we can create an entire system that educates the youth and keep it going, you know, pass it on.
For sure. Dexter?
And like the way the NBA is going, it's gonna be a foreign league, and we're gonna be a part of that. Like Jamal Murray is one of the best point guards in the league, and you look at the top guys in the league, it's Giannis, it's Luka, it's all these international players, and I feel like everyone's getting that exposure because of social media now. Like we have mixtapes, like a lot of kids these days, they know how to, like, they kill it on the internet. They make their own mixtapes. They're getting their name out. And to have the Canadians come out, and you said over 100 in the NCAA, like, I think that's because of social media as well. I think it's helping. I think it's pushing them to get exposure in the States. And the one thing I want from Canada is for all the Canadian players in the league to go to the Olympics. Like, please, I want Jamal Murray. I want Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Like, I want those guys to play it for Team Canada. I want them to represent. That's what I want from them, for the players in the league.
For sure. And to touch up on that one as well, and regarding mixtapes, I know Ryan's gonna be happy about this one, but Mark Cuban came out with a quote the other day talking about how too many kids are living this mixtape lifestyle right now instead of actually learning how to play the game of basketball. Where he mentioned Europe, but in my opinion, I think Canada knows how to play it as well. Do you think that mixtapes are actually ruining today's game, Dexter?
Oh no, I think it's helping it, man. Like, look at Zion.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Zion's amazing. Like,
Zion
and
was
you check his
created off of
mixtape, and it was nasty. And like,
Zion,
you see him 360 dunk, you through the legs. Like, it's crazy. These kids are getting exposures, and they're going to like D1 places. So like, they're going to Duke, they're going to North Carolina, they're going to all these top schools, and I think it's really helping, especially if like these kids are in a good place, like, and basketball is all they have, and you know what, they make a mixtape, they get their name out there, and then hopefully they go to the league and get like a huge contract, you know what I mean? So I don't think it's hurting the league. I think it's actually helping the league. But if all you do is like N1 moves, like, no one's going to get to the league unless you're Ray for Alston.
Right. I want you to touch up on both parts, the evolution of Canadian basketball as well as also mixtapes as well, because I know you're a big Dallas Mavericks fan. Anything that Mark Cuban says, you know, that makes sense. You agree with. So I kind of want to get your take on that as well.
But like, let's be real. Like, Cuban right now is on fire. Like, everything this guy does and touches is gold. Like JJ Barea, Delonte West, you know, fighting with Republicans online when they just say stupid stuff. Yeah. I think Cuban's great. But in
He's
terms of
also-
like Canada basketball,
he's also a Jewish man. Shout out! I had to put that in there.
Shabbat shalom.
in terms of
Happy
just like
Hanukkah.
the evolution of Canada basketball, like I just remember the days like I'd be at home trying to watch NBA and I couldn't because there would be hockey games on. And I'm done with trashing hockey. Hockey's great. Hockey's whatever. But I come from an era where live playoff games would be canceled, postponed, or just turned off because the NHL was on lockout and they needed an update that it wasn't coming back. So I'm missing basketball games for three guys in suits to talk about, oh, is NHL coming back? No, like I don't care. Like what? Like there was a playoff game in the fourth quarter with like 20 seconds left, and you're gonna cut this off for an NHL lockout update? Like I don't care. And that was Canada. That was the Canadian media. That was just how basketball was treated. It wasn't until I'd say, the Raptors really obviously came around, and I don't know what flipped. I don't know.
Tim
like,
Lewicki.
I think Alan's right. I think that was the guy who flipped it. It's just, without the Raptors and the organization and what happened, changing the culture, I don't think you see all of this happening right now. Like it's nuts because my high school, Thornley Secondary School, didn't care about basketball. They're now a prep school. Like it's nuts. Like there's talented people coming out of my high school in Thornhill that are possibly going to the league. Like it's nuts. Like to see it grow. And I would like to say, like as fans, you're a part of it. Cause like BTH, like I think, we're a part of that. Like we got on talking basketball in Canada, there's NBA TV Canada, just like different blogs and websites promoting Canadian athletes. Sorry, there's a great one. And I can't remember his name right now, but North Pole Hoops. It's just all these great websites that, promote Canadian athletes. Shout out to, oh my God, On Point Basketball. All these like websites that started kind of along the same timeline as when the Raptors really started to become less of a joke and more of a serious threat in the last like 6 or 7 years. So it's like, I love the growth. And now I've seen, not that I've seen NHL games postponed, but if the Raptors are in the playoff game and they're winning, and it's like serious stuff on the line, I've seen hockey games get, okay, we'll join the game in progress once this actually finishes. So it's like, I'm proud and I'm thankful for that. I just remember going on, I'm not going to say the network, but I just remember going on Twitter and just being like, what are you guys doing right now? Like, what are you guys doing? The Raptors are winning this game.
Say it, Ryan. Say it.
Sportsnet.
I'm not saying
Who is
any
it?
networks,
Sportsnet.
but
Which one?
they
We
did
need
not
some
give
exclusives on the Talk Your Exposure.
They
We need
did
some
not give
exclusives.
two shits about basketball. So I'm glad to see that's changed. And yeah, you mentioned all the names. It's like Kelly Olynyk, Dwight Powell, Jamal Murray, Andrew Wiggins. You can just keep going on, just like nonstop. Shy out there killing OKC, like man, like just like you said, like before we had like Steve Nash, Jamal McGlory. That was it. Steve Nash, the reason why I became a Dallas Mavericks fan. Like when I heard that there was a Canadian playing in the NBA, and I'm like, what team is he on? It's like Dallas. It's like, oh. Then obviously I got introduced to Dirk, but it's like that's the reason why I became a Dallas Mavericks fan. People don't know that.
Wow, I didn't know the origin story.
Origin. Yeah.
Wow.
That's
The whole time
X-Men
you're
first
being
class
patriotic.
right there.
You're patriotic the whole time.
Yeah.
Damn.
We heard it. We got an exclusive today. That's crazy. I'm so honored to get an exclusive. So with that being said, Canadian basketball evolving and everything, especially you guys saw as well, Thornley Secondary now is a prep school, and they're actually pretty good as well, ran by Shane James and the Canada Elite family. How do you guys do you guys feel that was a big part of the Raptors' success in 2014? When they first made the playoffs and continued from there and kept going. I know obviously we made the playoffs prior to that as well, and Vince Carter put Canada on the map in terms of basketball. But basketball, like we both said, or like you said, Ryan, you know, you were watching hockey or you were trying to watch basketball and no one had it on whatsoever. So, you know, do we credit the Raptors for the past 6-7 years for really evolving Canada basketball? Starting with Ryan.
Masai Ujiri is a big part of it. It's not just the Raptors, but obviously the Raptors are a huge part of it. Just building and gathering Canadians everywhere to start cheering. But like I said, it's the blog sites, it's the YouTube channels, it's the people that were there before everything got hot. You know what I mean? Like the people that's tried to build Canada into a basketball community again, like just the small blogs, the small YouTube channels. That's why I like to say BTH, you know, we're part of that. You know, we spread the word, we spread the culture. It's like Alan said earlier, it's like people used to get hyped off of seeing their name off a top 25 list. Like that was big for Canada. Like I remember friends in elementary and in high school just like, yo, you see my highlights on this website. I'm like, that was huge. But like nowadays it's like, no, like that's not to say it's nothing now, but it's like I like to give thanks to the internet almost, because without that you don't see these names out there at all. So
Dexter?
I think there's definitely a few milestones that started this. Obviously Vince Carter. I think DeRozan re-signing was a big thing because it showed that people want to play in Canada, and it really gave itself to Canadian basketball as well. Lowry and DeRozan, their love, whatever they have, their bromance, whatever. Them making the playoffs, them going on below the hardwood, you know, we're amazing.
let's go.
Us winning the championship, like everything, all those factor into Canadian basketball, and I think there's a bunch of milestones that we have to acknowledge. And I don't think it was one thing. I think it was a accumulation of everything. Even like little stuff for basketball fans was like seeing our games on ESPN. Like those are huge. Those little things all added up to the championship. And you see how many, like, you're not a real team unless you have bandwagon fans. That's what I think. And I feel like Toronto is probably the epitome of that.
Yeah.
And
We got 1, 2, and 3 bandwagon fans on this show right now.
Whoa.
Who?
And I'm not 1, 2, or 3.
Ooh.
Whoa. Sorry. What now?
bandwagon fans to who?
What? Who?
I've lived here before you were born, boy.
Facts.
And you came out a Kobe fan.
But yeah, like everything has been on the up for Canada. Even last year we made the playoffs, we had a big shot. Like we have moments in basketball now, like the Kawhi shot, that's a moment in Canadian basketball, and like everyone will never forget where they were.
For sure. Alan?
Yeah, I have to agree with my cohorts. It's all about all of that. It's many different things that came together to kind of shift and reframe what Canada basketball is. And I think that one of the beautiful things about being like a Raptor fan is that a Raptor fan, you can't say what a Raptor fan is, because a Raptor fan looks like so many different things. And the ability of the internet and the expansion of that and sharing that kind of message of what the Raptors are and who the team is has kind of not just been local, it's provincial, it's national, it's international. You know, there's an entire Raptor fan Brazil thing going on where people in Brazil are like huge Raptor fans. There's fans over in Detroit, so whenever we play, or from Windsor, they go over there and they can watch us. Like, yeah, for real. So it's like the beautiful thing about the Raptors is just like if you're a supporter of that team, you could be of all walks of life. Like as far as like even Nav Bhatia, like he's like a huge super fan, and like that's what a Raptor fan is. And it's like it's different from anything else. It's different, and it's inclusive, and it's amazing, and it's awesome. And yeah, I think it's cool that once we kind of grow and expand through the internet, we're finally being taken seriously by the big medias. And I really hope and wish that the local medias didn't need a cosign from international medias in order to give us the respects and that we deserve and put some spec on our name from time.
They gave us 4 games.
Yeah, 4 games.
4 games.
That's yeah. And how many did your Mavs get again? Too many.
It's Texas, baby. It's Texas.
Too many.
Listen, Luca, done.
Yeah, you're right.
Done.
That's
Luka,
it. You're done. There's no other names to say.
That's all you need.
No, you need more.
That's all you need.
So I'm glad you brought up Windsor, and I'm very appalled at myself, mad at myself for not doing this. But Dexter, your wife is from Windsor, and you always start off BTH by saying one thing. I was gonna get you BTH today, but I need you to say it one time for the people, man.
Hi, Nikki.
I had to get it done.
If I move to Windsor, guys,
Copyrighted. I'm charging you.
If I move to Windsor, I gotta be a Detroit Pistons fan, guys. I might have to move on. It's Blake Griffin and D Rose. That's where we at.
I hope they're both traded.
Dambuya? Oh, watch out for that kid.
You see what I mean? There's no loyalty to the Raptors. But anyways,
if I move, but we Toronto all day, boy.
One thing I want to touch up on as well, and I'm glad you brought it up, Dexter. You started talking about ESPN, about how it's been. Both you and Alan were talking about it. How it's been nationwide and getting the ESPN game and stuff like that. What are your thoughts this year of 2 things? One, the Raptors only having 3 televised ESPN games. I think it might even be 2. And 2, no Christmas game. Starting with Alan.
What do I think about it? I think it's not where it should be. I think we deserve more. We won the championship like a year ago, or 2 years ago. So it's kind of weird that the NBA keeps kind of playing this idea that we don't have a fan base and people don't want to watch us and it's not going to sell. I'm like, we're going to sell. You know who's like not going to sell? Some of the other teams you guys give a million chances to. And the idea that because we don't have a star that has 18 million followers is a reason why you can't give us the reason why those players have 18 million followers is because you keep pushing that narrative. You keep pushing these people into these center stage positions. And it's kind of silly when you go on like ESPN's or I can't remember the other one, but like their Instagram and how many times they'll post Raptor highlights. It's kind of silly. It's like, that's the problem. You're the problem. It's not because no one cares. It's because you're not focusing and giving us and highlighting us on these points. We played, what was that team? Charlotte the other day. You know how many highlights we got? 0. You'd have thought we lost.
Melo.
They put Melo highlights. Melo didn't score a point. He had like 4 assists, and they showed that nonstop. I'm like, are you kidding me? OG had an amazing behind the back like dunk like that.
That got some play.
That got play from look where it played from Yahoo Sports thing. It was all thing. There was nothing from not until the next morning. Not until the next morning did they actually give us a shout at all. And Raptor fans, I love Raptor fans because I love and hate Raptor fans, but I love Raptor fans here because we all went in the comment sections and we're like, what the heck? What's going on? Why did you give us the respect? I loved it. Chirping them, making sure whoever's working, that intern who tweeted that, felt the heat. Felt that heat. So next time, think twice. Think twice before you sleep on our raps.
Fair enough. Dexter.
I'm surprised we got that many. We're in Florida now. We're in the States. We should have got more. We in Tampa Bay, baby. But it is disrespectful. We did win the championship two years ago, but I've said this and I stand by this. We need to trade Pascal Siakam for a superstar. Trade his ass. I'm sticking by it.
God.
He's overrated.
Oh,
Give me LaMelo highlights.
I think I know which one is the fake fan.
I'm 1, 2, and 3, boy.
I
Where's my soundboard? I need like my air horns and shit right now.
You know what?
LaMelo.
I should definitely buy one of those. This is a great point, Ryan. But yeah.
Like the 4 games is BS. Like, let's be real. Like they should be in like a kind of 10 to 15 range. Not, obviously the most. That belongs to the Lakers. At the end of the day, you give the champions the most. You give the best person in the league the most. We had this conversation in an episode of BTH. At the end of the day, you know what the league's pushing. It's pushing the big names. It's pushing, who's on the teams. Obviously, Zion, mixtape king. people want to see that. People want to see the dunks. People want to see the future face of the league, the narrative that they're pushing. The guys on the cover of NBA 2K21, the next generation. Luka obviously being like projected as the future MVP of this league. Like, I understand why those teams got the games. Is there still disrespect to the Raptors? Yeah, because at the end of the day, the Raptors, the way I put this on Below the Hardwood, they're the better team. They're the better franchise, but nobody cares about the better team. They just care about the superstar and the look. If I had my way, yeah, this is obviously a lot different. The Washington Wizards didn't get a game, albeit the trade didn't happen yet when this came out. But the fact that they got 0 games, like as soon as the Westbrook trade came in, they should, okay, we need to adjust this. There should be like, okay, let's move this over here. Let's take a game away from this team. Let's put this on this. Okay, the Raptors, yeah, like, you know, exciting rookie, Malachi Flynn. Kyle Lowry's still there. Pascal, like the team is still a top contender in the East. So it's like, yeah, you should. The Christmas Day games, however, I don't hate on that. Christmas Day games should be changed each year based off of what's going on with the team. The Raptors are no longer a championship team. They don't really have a top 10 player in the league. The Christmas Day games, they go to 1, the championship teams. They go to 2, you know, top 10 players. So I think they got Christmas Day right. I don't hate that the Raptors got it, didn't get it this year. In order for the Raptors to get it year by year, they're going to have to, 1, obtain a player like a top 10, top 5 guy. They're going to have to win the championship.
He wants to say Giannis, guys. He wants to say Giannis.
Well,
Listen,
I'm not really upset.
the
I think
Celtics
the
have
states
14.
don't know that we have the same Christmas. I think they're going off their Thanksgiving.
Canadian
Yeah,
Christmas.
we have November.
So maybe
Christmas.
Canadian
we have a
Christmas is
Canadian
probably in
Christmas.
I
January.
already had your Christmas. Why do you guys even care?
And they're
Yeah,
so
I'm
surprised
sorry.
when we have Thanksgiving. They're like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Did this just start?
Like, nah, fam. It's been a while. Yo, but why do the Celtics have 14 games?
Because Jason Tatum, top
No.
5 player in the
Overrated.
league.
There's not one player
Top
on that team
5
who's
player
not
in the
overrated
league.
except for Kemba Walker. That's about it.
Speaking of Jason Tatum, how the hell is he now 6'10"?
He's not. They're lying. It's more lies from the media.
Let's
to boost
talk about that for
It's
one
all,
second.
it's all in the same narrative, trying to make the Celtics more relevant. Boo
Oh my
to the
God.
Celtics. Boo that franchise. I
Jason
can't believe I
Tatum,
rooted for
top
them
5 player in the
against
league.
Kobe Bryant. I can't believe I did that.
I think
So-
Jason Tatum's gonna lead the league in points. Let's go. I'm putting it down.
He's
On
not.
Steven's podcast.
You also said what do you say? Russell Westbrook's not a top 5 point or not a top 5 player or something like that. Was it
Oh
you
no,
that said that?
no,
Or,
he's the
or-
number
No,
1
he
player.
said the opposite.
Oh, you said he's
He's
number
the
1.
MVP. Oh,
Say he's the best
Westbrook's
player in the
I
NBA.
remember you said something blasphemy, and in the words of Stephen A. Smith, something blasphemy.
no, not with my boy Westbrook.
Let me
He's the
give
number
you the
1 guy
spiel
in the
on
league.
Dexter. Hates Damian Lillard. Loves Russell Westbrook.
Yup.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
Confused gentleman. A confused man.
And apparently thinks Jason Tatum is a top 10 player in the league.
Something
He's a
happened
no,
to
no,
this
no, he's
man.
Catch all this on Below the Hardwood.
He's the top 5 player in the league.
How you
You
gonna
said he's
promote
not-
your,
He'll
you
lead
said-
the league in scoring.
this Ryan's really trying to promote your broadcast or your podcast on my podcast.
I'm just using Dexter here to, if people want to get mad, they can go listen. They can go listen right now. Below the Hardwood, we are pressed down.
Ryan, I see you. I see you. I see you.
I see you. So we're still on the topic of Canada basketball. I definitely want to know what your take is with Steve Nash coaching the Brooklyn Nets. When I first saw it, I was like, okay, maybe not bad. I don't really know how they're gonna make that work over there. He obviously brought his Phoenix Suns guys in there to coach the team. Amari, D'Antoni. What is your opinion with Steve Nash, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant? Dinwiddie. Dinwiddie might be one of those guys this year. But Karis LeVert. What's your opinion on that team? Is that a possible 2006, 2007 Phoenix Suns team?
Oh, you got
Or earlier than that, 2005, 2006. My bad.
You got Amari Stoudemire as an assistant coach there too. So I was telling people, this is the Brooklyn Suns, pretty much. Like, they almost got. They even tried. I think they even tried to pull D'Antoni at one point before he. I'm pretty sure they did, or he's there. No,
D'Antoni's there.
He's
oh my God, yeah, it's the freaking Brooklyn Suns. Like, this is nuts. And then they try to get Dirk, but loyalty. I think they go as far as if Kyrie Irving gets his shit together and just stops talking. And I don't mean stop talking to the media. I just mean like just not being like who he is, because who he is right now is he just says a lot of stuff. He's always talking. He's always just like ego driven and egocentric. If he just puts that aside, just plays basketball, pull up Marshawn Lynch if you don't want to talk to the media, man. Just like say, I'm just here not to get fined. That's it. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. You're a superstar. You're paid like it. It's in the contracts. That's your job. You need to talk to the media. You want the money. You want all this. Okay. You just want to play basketball. Well, if you just want to play basketball, go play pickup games. Go play at the park. Go do this. Like, you love the game. We get that. You're an artist. We get that. But I feel like this team goes as far as if Kyrie just stays in check, stays focused, doesn't be a distraction to the team like he already is. Like, this guy just is always talking. I don't think you have to worry about Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, they say the last thing to go in your game is your jump shot. Kevin Durant's the best shooter in the league right now, without Clay.
Wow.
And a returning Steph. So
wow,
if Kevin Durant can shoot the ball, he's fine, right? The hops, that stuff, it will be there. We seen him in the preseason. He his first points in over a year were a dunk. So as long as that is fine, like, the Nets are good. You go as far as KD will take you, and as far as Kyrie Irving, if he just stops being Kyrie Irving.
Mm-hmm. Dexter?
I think the hire of Steve Nash it's great. Look at the other first-time head coaches. Look at Steve Kerr. He won the championship right after. Nick Nurse was assistant coach, but his first-time head coach, he won championship. And Steve Nash, 2-time MVP. He was the floor general of those Suns, and I see him as a natural coach. And with the Nets, they are going to win the championship. I want to allude to Ryan saying Kevin Durant's one of the best shooters. I'd probably put Beal up there as well. But
better than KD?
Around there. But
Beal's a better shooter than KD?
I'm not going to go back, but the Nets are going to win the championship. Quote
all right.
me.
So we heard this first.
We
Well, I don't know if you got to talk about it on Blow the Hardwood, but
everything down.
Kyrie, game 7. Oh, I remember all this. I ain't going back on any of it.
He's been consistent. We
have to revisit it in an episode. NBA TNT, they rate those predictions and put them on the wall.
You're gonna think it's
Chuck's
the present,
prediction.
yo, because everything's gonna come to fruition.
oh my God,
Lakers are gonna get swept in the first round.
Wow.
This is a newspaper.
The only team that I could think knock off the Nets is probably the Wizards.
That's everything with that sentence is wrong. Not only the team,
Westbrook's gonna get in Durant's head, and then it's a wrap.
Everything with that sentence was wrong. Everything.
Wow.
Okay, and that no joking. But I don't even know how to. You caught me off guard for a second. I'm off guard right now. I'm off guard. So you guys believe that in the 7-second rule, you guys think that's going to be a thing this year? You guys think that it's going to be big for the Brooklyn Nets and
No. I'm the only one who believes that the Clippers East, they're trash. What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do when they take Kyrie out the game and KD? Who's gonna score?
LeVert.
Dinwiddie, LeVert,
No.
Joe Harris,
No.
Joe Harris.
Wilson Chandler. Jamal Crawford.
You're listing bums. You're listing
Jared
bums.
Allen.
You're listing bums. No, they're not gonna score.
Oh my
Come on.
God,
There's
they're
not
not
gonna be unity.
them off at
They're
the
gonna
same
fight.
time.
It's gonna be fun to watch. The same thing as Clippers. It's gonna be fun to watch in the season. They have a little bit of traction. Be like, oh, look at them. They're third or fourth in the Eastern Conference, 5th place in the Eastern Conference. Awesome. Second place exit. That's what's gonna happen. And also, Steve Nash, I'm happy for him, but also they should have given Jacques Vaughn a shot at that. They should have done that. I think that was kind of foul after what he did with that half a team that he willed to the bubble. I think he did a great thing. There was good ball movement. I think there was a real clear identity of who they were, and they just disrupted that. And I think it was kind of messed up that he just doesn't have a job right now.
But that thing doesn't always work out. You can't always go to your assistant coach. Like, maybe he just had a good spurt. If you look at Luke
Nick
Walton,
Nurse?
Look what happened to Luke Walton.
Well, that's Luke
You
Walton.
gave him a chance, and then same
think
thing. But
no,
even
Luke
though he's
Walton
an NBA
is pretty
champion,
inept.
But he went
nepotism.
what 10-0 or 12-0 with the Golden State Warriors, and then after that, what happened?
Because he was with the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, and you put
Because
it in
that's what
fucking
happened.
Golden
He was
State Warriors,
coaching the
you
Golden
win.
State
You
Warriors.
win.
That's a turnkey operation. You just
that's
show
a
up,
shit
press
show
the
in
button.
Sacramento.
Yeah.
That's a shit show in Sacramento.
If you can turn crap into good stuff, that's impressive. If you could turn whatever Karooks and Chris Chioza and all these other, sideline players and actually have a team that's like in the playoffs and like moving the ball nicely and giving the Raptors like a run for the money for certain spurts of the quarter, imagine implementing like big players into that system. What could happen? Amazing things. And I think Jacques Vaughn had a vision, and the Nets kind of like gave up because they wanted to appease either Kyrie or KD. I'm assuming KD because he's a snake.
Luke Walton syndrome.
What
That
are,
wouldn't have worked.
what are some things that we could tell kids, knowing what we know, being older and stuff like that, and seeing what we
KD's
saw
a
with
snake.
West.
Kids need to learn that young. Don't trust that guy. His beard
What
don't connect.
Mine don't. Yeah.
Hold on. I think I got something for you here. Hold on. Here we go.
Sound bored?
What are some things that you could tell the kids today that are aspiring Canadians to play in the NBA, to play NCAA basketball? What are some things to remind them to keep going, remind them to keep pushing, keep fighting? What are some things that you guys would tell them if being a mentor and being where you are right now?
If you love it, you love it, and keep at it. And don't let anything step in between that and it. You have to give it 100%. You can't give it 90%. You can't give it 99%. You have to give it 100%. And if you want the things that you actually want, if you truly believe that, and a lot of people say that ball is life and then do half the work. But if ball is 100% life, give it all, like all of you. Give it all of you everywhere. Go to different mentors. Learn different things, go to different coaches, figure things out, work on your strengths, but also work on your weaknesses and making sure that you're the most complete player that you could possibly be.
Ryan?
You guys got a golden opportunity right now. It's alive and well in Canada. It's just going back to what we said earlier, like you couldn't do anything with basketball back in the day. And it's like now it's like you got mentors, you got coaches, former players coming back, training camps, like there's just a lot of access to different ways if you want to make basketball your thing. You just got to reach out, you got to look. It's out there. It's not as difficult as it was. And like Alan said, you just got to keep at it. Like that's pretty much it.
Dexter?
Number 1, Mamba mentality, always. Number 2, don't let the narrative of being Canadian stop you from thinking you could get to the league, because that's not the narrative anymore. Number 3, go get trained by Cy and Steven.
You already know. I appreciate that.
I got that plug for you, bruv.
One thing. There you go.
Sorry, I'm late. I'm on my board. I'm trying to go on the go here.
Tell you, I need to go get me one of those. Before we get going though, I just want to ask you guys. Canadian basketball obviously has been a huge part of my life, all of our lives being Canadian. Do you guys? I don't think that we believe that we are going to see the Raptors win a championship in our time. Do you guys think that Team Canada will ever beat the USA in the Olympics?
If Argentina can win, I think we could do it.
It could happen. It could happen.
Yeah, we can catch them slipping.
Because
especially not that they're not playing all their stars anymore. Like look at last year in FIBA. I think they came in 3rd. So like Alan said, if we catch them slipping, and all of our players, like I said, I want all of our Canadian players in the league to join the team. Like it'd be incredible.
Yeah, we gotta definitely have to have full roster. Like we can't have anybody just say no. But you can catch the US slipping some years. You can.
Yeah.
So players like Alan Lewis, Ryan Henry, Dexter Ariola, right?
Obviously. Put me, I'll guard LeBron. I'll guard James Harden, guy. No fouls either. I'll strip him clean.
Fat James Harden, not old James Harden, new James Harden.
Easy.
I'll be
New
six
James-
fouls. I'll be 6 fouls.
First minute.
I'll be a flagrant. You need me to take somebody out? Okay.
What's your
Yeah. No, I think it's when it comes to like international ball, it's not the best players. I think that's the one thing that like after the Dream Team, we all thought it was like the best players win it. It's like no, it's the best team. That happened to be the best team. And I think players like Argentina came out there and yeah, they had a better team. And I think if we have good team ball and you work with it and you work year round, I think you have the ability to beat some of the top stars in the NBA. So
if that was to happen, can we get some exclusive on this show? What is something you guys would do if Canada beats USA in Olympics in basketball, Olympic basketball? What's one thing that you guys would do that we can look back on this and say, hey, they won, now go do it? Starting with Ryan. I feel like I already know what Dex is gonna say, but let's start with Ryan.
Wait.
Wait, what am I gonna say?
Yeah. Repeat that.
So if Team Canada beats USA in the Olympics, what is one thing that you will do no matter what if they win? Because obviously it seems like it's going to be a pipe dream. It doesn't seem very, very realistic. Typically USA has a really good basketball team unless they have like the 2002 shit team or whatever. But like if they have their stars, Kevin Durant, Kyrie, Donovan Mitchell,
Okay,
he's playing this year, but just people of that nature. What is one thing you would do? You could give money back to charity. You can I don't know, whatever.
Oh, okay. Well, now you say charity. Anything I'm gonna say is pretty lame. But I was just gonna say, drive cross country. I'll take my car across borders. Once COVID is done, and have a Canadian flag attached to my car. Bump some Drake with my windows down.
I'm gonna get shot
in a Team Canada jersey.
You're gonna get shot.
And just have a megaphone just being like, you're all trash.
Yeah,
you're all trash. You're all trash. And I'll just drive that car through Detroit, Cleveland, make my way into the real southern states
if you make it.
If I make
you
it.
get lynched now.
Exactly.
Let's not do that. Kids are watching.
Oh, sorry. Allegedly.
I'm gonna be editing this part.
Yeah. You might need to.
Hey, they need to know the harsh realities of the southern states and the history that reflects upon it and how it reverberates today. See how I saved it? See how I saved it, Steven? It's an educational moment now.
Yeah, you ain't gotta edit no more.
You gotta edit it.
I'll keep this in.
It's back. It's back now. I took American history. I barely passed, but here it is.
Alan, what about you, Alan?
I would first buy a gold medal. I would find it somewhere. If I can't find it, I'd make one myself using real gold. Then I'd go online with an anonymous Twitter account and I would troll Coach K on Twitter. I'm like, yo, what's good? Canadians beat you. You can't even beat our team. And I'd be all up in his face, and I would get banned and then make a new account and do the same thing over again.
I feel like I already know what Dexter would do, but
tell me, but I'll tell you. I'll tell you mine after.
Yo, write it in the chat and then someone say it out loud. You gotta do it at the same time. I want to see if it's the same.
No, I'm going out of the box. Ready? I'm gonna show that every Canadian can win and be on a basketball team and dominate. So I will go try out for the Raptors on their G League team. I feel like I can make it. I'm nice. Yo, my step back. Oh my God. That's stepdaddy.
Stepdaddy.
Let's not talk about what happened at Wilmington Park, Dexter. Let's not talk about that.
Which one?
Wilmington Park.
What happened? Oh, yo, that freak accident.
What happened?
I just got injured, yo.
Oh,
freak accident.
Old man Dexter.
All right, so I have a proposition for you guys. With that being said, if Team Canada beats the USA, all three of you guys need to go try out for the 905 team.
I don't want to take a spot from a hard-earned player, but I would still. Like
I
ball
don't
is
want
not
Nick
even.
Nurse pushing me around.
Yeah, I want practice. I just want to play. You know, I'm not into that. I'm not into laps. I don't want to be disruptive, but being a superstar though.
I feel like I'm about to get a good answer from Ryan. I don't know. He seems
No, you won't see me there. You won't see me there. You will not see me there.
Ryan, just grab my rebounds, yo.
Yeah.
Dexter, you have rebounds? Couldn't be me.
Nah, pass it back to
me.
me, dog.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I'm getting them
And
all in.
she's
Just grab my
100%
rebounds,
from
dog. Watch me warm up.
Before we finish, some quick hitters for you guys. Alan, starting with you. Top 5 artists right now, or top 5 artists of all time for you.
Kyrie Irving.
Music?
Kyrie
Irving.
He's an artist.
Mr.
He's an
Irving.
artist. He's not a basketball player. He's an artist.
I will defend Kyrie Irving calling himself an artist because I do believe there's true mastery in art when it comes to his dribble moves. I have to say there is a beautiful poetry to it that no people can see and do. So I will say yes, he is an artist in that right. I will defend that.
I'm not talking painters. I'm talking music. Let's be honest. Let's be clear.
Music. Okay, music. Here it is. Old Kanye, not the new one. Donald Glover. Awesome.
College dropout Kanye was tough, you know.
Tough. Up to Yeezus?
Ooh.
Up to Yeezus. Yeezus has replayability.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Glover, so childish. Who else?
Trash.
Trash? Get out of here. Andre 3000 up there.
Oh, okay.
Who else do I listen to? Kendrick is up there.
Kendrick's tough.
Let's and then musically, let's switch it up. Let's go a different genre. John Legend. Awesome.
Ooh.
Amazing albums. I need him to make more music. Stop being in love with your wife and write songs about falling in love again. We want some of that. Some of us need that.
It's chance.
Ryan, if you were a professional athlete, what would be your go-to songs to listen to? At least top three songs to go to before a game.
Hard.
Happy
Raining
birthday.
Man.
Happy birthday.
Let's Go Little John and
that's a good
Trick
one.
Daddy.
Okay.
That's good.
Forever by Drake. The remix with like Drake, Eminem,
I swear there's
Kanye.
only a remix. I don't think there is.
Is there? Oh, usually when you have that many guys, I just think that's a remix. But yeah, you need the one with all of them on that.
All right.
And
Does Eminem
So,
even sing that song?
Never mind.
it's hard. Third. Sorry, guys. I gotta bust out
Chumbawamba.
the gym playlist right here.
We can come back to you if you'd like.
You gotta edit like
Pump It Up by Joe Budden.
hours later.
Pump it up.
Pump It Up.
Yeah.
I'm
Yo,
sorry. Pump
Joe
It Up
Budden?
is like a forever a part
I
of
love
my
that song.
of my
All right,
life.
all
So
right.
yeah.
That's a joke song, yo. That's what he said.
All right. Dexter. Top five movies.
Top 5 movies.
Top 5 movies.
Well, you got to throw in Avengers Endgame. You know,
Hey.
that's got to be number 1. Toy Story. Yo, this might be top 5 Disney. Because you know Thor Ragnarok is pretty dope.
It's a great movie.
You know what? Star Wars 7 was pretty dope. These are just the ones coming out. Then you got to throw in some Coach Carter and Space Jam. Let's round it off with basketball.
I'm only Ty Crane. Still the best line.
5.
Yeah, so your top 5?
That's the top 5, man.
Okay. Classics right there.
Steven, what song do you listen to warm up?
Yeah, Steven.
What song?
Yeah, let's ask Steven questions now.
Yeah.
How you grow the beard that connects?
I have the beard that connects. I don't have the hair.
We're all here except for Ryan with his luscious head of hair.
What I listen to be completely honest, I don't even know if this is really a good playlist to listen to, but I listen to some like Vibes Cartel, some Popcorn. You know, I listen to I did deadass listen to Vibes Cartel, some Popcorn. I listen to some Movado. I do listen to some little bit of Trick Daddy. So and I don't know why, but for some reason I listen to Shake It Tail Feather all the time. I don't know why.
Yo,
I don't know why.
that's cool.
But for real, Trick Daddy has like real like basketball or like football pump up music.
Yeah.
Slip and slide. All right. If you don't know that song,
last quick hitters for all you guys. Alan, for starting with you first. If you were a general manager right now in the NBA, what would be what team would you want to be the general manager of, and what would be your first move of action?
What team do I want to take over?
Yes.
Y'all want to take over the Knicks and bring them to glory.
Okay.
I want it. I want it. I want that pressure. I want
know
to
what
do
your
it.
first job should be.
you have no
Fire
trade
teams over.
assets.
It's okay. We work it. We'll do a rebranding. First off, getting rid of the Nick name. We're changing the name. We're getting that out of there.
Is it racist?
It's old. It's old. It's stuffy. Is it racist?
What are you gonna do about Dolan?
Dolan, I'm kicking him down the stairs, and I'm taking his wallet too. He's getting robbed fully. We're taking it over, and first move, I'm signing a big agent or a big player to come in. Who? I don't know, but I'll hit LeBron James on his 40th. Yeah, his 40th birthday. I'll be like, yo, you and Bronny can come here, take over the franchise. You tell me who we want to pick. We draft in what you want to draft. We're hiring the soda guy that you like. Is it only Sprite? We only drink Sprite in the arena? Fine. That's what we do, LeBron. And we will win multiple championships into his 50th year or 50th birthday. 10 years of LeBron James supremacy. That's what I would do.
Shoot. Knicks need to hire you because shit, that sounds great. That sounds great.
Call them the New York LeBrons. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna rebrand everything.
Fair enough. Ryan, if you had a moment with Mark Cuban, you have a day in the life of Mark Cuban, or you're gonna be job shadowing him. A day to job shadow Mark Cuban. What would you want to learn? What would you be most excited for? And obviously, we are by the Mavericks. Who would you want to meet? All-time Mavericks, by the way, not just this year. All-time Mavericks. But you can only pick one.
Okay, I'm only going one way with this. It's Dirk. Like
Wow.
30,000 plus points. Like MVP, Finals MVP, legend. Like there's no other way to go. It would be Dirk to meet. In terms of learning something from Mark Cuban, it'd be more about his business, just to kind of see how the hell he launched his first company and sold it. I think it was broadcast.com or something like that.
Yes.
I always read into how he got his fortune, but it would be to learn what he did to become an entrepreneur and what he did to, again, keep his fortunes going. So like, it's one thing to become rich, but it's like, how do you stay rich, right? Obviously he bought the Mavericks when they weren't worth as much as they're worth now. So I get that, but yeah, no, just learning how he got his fortune and how he's kept his fortune. And definitely, I don't think any human being on earth would not choose to meet Dirk at this point. So
I know
Okay.
Jalen Brunson's pretty cool.
and try to smash his daughter, right, Ryan?
whose daughter? Oh, that's you, Dexter. How about that?
That's you, bruv.
I know you
Remember you told me this
TikTok.
before we started shooting?
You can edit this out.
And final question.
That's how you stay rich.
Final question. Finish off with Dexter.
Yes, sir.
And you cannot choose Russell Westbrook.
Yes, it doesn't matter.
I will take this off completely. But if you could meet, there's two questions. If you could meet anybody in the NBA or in the world,
Russell Westbrook.
who would you want to choose, dead or alive? That's one. And two, if you could resurrect somebody back to life, who would you resurrect?
Oh, I think that's obvious.
It's both one answer. It's Kobe. Everything
All
was
right,
right before Kobe died.
All right,
I could have brought back a family member. This guy went to Kobe.
No, Kobe is the family, bro.
Let me add to that. What would you want to, like, the person that you meet, what would you want them to teach you, or what would you want to learn from them, or what inspires you about them?
Kobe, man. Mamba mentality. I'll ask him what heaven's like and how he's killing it up there.
Wow.
I know he's
Jesus
playing God
one-on-one.
in one-on-one. I
He's
know
beating
it.
Jesus
Who wins?
one-on-one.
Who wins? Who wins?
Oh, Kobe. He's dropping 81 on God. He don't care. But honestly, he inspires me, man. Just the mentality. Like you say mama mentality, and like he like lived it, and he showed you every single day, every time he went to the court, even after basketball, like with his family, like that's a mamba mentality. Like he put everything into everything he did, and like whether it was basketball or family, go read his book. It's amazing. But yeah, just everything he did was so inspiring, man. And we definitely lost a great one before his time, and man, like that one hit hard for sure.
You guys heard it here first. Dexter's about to name his daughter or son Kobe or Kobriana. That's kind of a tough day, though.
I'm pushing for it, eh?
That's a tough day.
I'm pushing.
Kobe works both ways. That's a unisex name.
I'm pushing.
Put an I at the end of it. Kobe.
Kobe or even what's the name? Gianna? No,
Yeah.
GG.
Gigi. Yeah, Gigi. Whoops. But anyways, we all know what Dexter about to name his daughter or son. Thank you for that exclusive,
Yep.
Dexter. We appreciate that.
That's the middle name though.
See what Nikki has
Can't
to
be
say
going
about
out.
With that being said, I appreciate your time, fellas. This is definitely a great time to catch up with you guys. You know, we talked about a lot of the good things today. This is Talk Your Exposure, episode 6. We out.